Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into a real giant of literature, Don Quixote, Miguel de Cervantes, 17th century Spain, often called the first modern novel.
It really is foundational, yeah.
And it's this amazing kind of funny, kind of sad look at idealism crashing into, well, reality.
Absolutely. That's the core tension.
So our mission today is simple. Let's unpack some key insights from this masterpiece, see why it still hits home. Ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
Okay, so it starts with this guy, Alonso Quijano, a gentleman, middle-aged, living in the country.
Right. And he reads a lot.
He devours these tales of chivalry, knights, quests, damsels.
To the point of obsession. It completely takes over his mind.
Yeah, he gets so wrapped up in them, he basically convinces himself, I need to be one of those knights, a knight errant.
He has to go out, right wrongs, seek adventure, find glory.
Yeah.
The whole medieval romance package.
So he drops his old name, becomes Don Quixote,
Yeah.
and off he goes.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because his perception of the world is completely warped by these stories he's absorbed.
How so? Like, what does he actually see?
Well, famous example. He sees windmills, right? But in his mind, they're ferocious giants.
Yeah.
Huge, menacing giants he has to battle.
Seriously, windmills become giant.
Exactly. Or like a simple inn by the road. To him, it's an enchanted castle. It's not just imagination. He genuinely believes this stuff.
Wow.
And there's Dulcinea. In reality, she's just a local peasant woman. But in Don Quixote's reality, she's this noble, perfect lady, the ideal he dedicates all his deeds to.
He's built a whole new world inside his head based purely on fiction.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a fascinating psychological portrait.
Okay, so if Don Quixote is living in this fantasy, what about his companion, Sancho Panza? Where does he fit in?
Sancho. He's brilliant. He's the total opposite, at least initially. A very practical, down-to-earth farmer.
So the reality check.
Exactly. He's lured into being Don Quixote's squire by promises of, becoming governor of an island someday. Very materialistic motivation.
So he sees the windmills as windmills.
Oh, yeah. He's constantly trying to point out the actual reality. Master, those are windmills? Master, that's an inn, not a castle. He's often the voice of reason and, well, the source of a lot of the humor.
The straight man to Don Quixote's delusions.
Precisely. But here's the clever part, what Cervantes does. Over time, even Sancho starts to get kind of pulled into Don Quixote's world.
Really? The practical farmer?
The lines blur. He starts maybe half believing some of the enchantments, or at least playing along more convincingly. He gets caught up in the story, too. It shows how powerful a strong narrative can be.
That's fascinating. So it suggests we're all maybe a bit susceptible.
I think that's definitely part of the point.
So this book is clearly funny, with all the mix-ups and Sancho's reactions, but it feels deeper than just laughs. What's the bigger picture here?
Oh, absolutely. It's way more than just a comedy. It's this profound look at, well, idealism versus pragmatism, like we said, but also sanity, illusion, the very nature of belief.
And how we see Don Quixote himself. Right, he's often mocked.
He is. People constantly trick him, laugh at him, beat him up, frankly. But Cervantes is masterful because often you find yourself admiring Don Quixote's spirit, his sheer commitment, his dignity, even when he's being utterly ridiculous.
You kind of root for him despite everything.
Right, and it forces you to ask, who's actually crazy here? Is it the dreamer holding on to these, maybe deluded but noble ideals? Or is it the cynical world that just crushes those dreams?
That's a powerful question. It feels very modern.
Exactly why it's called the first modern novel.
Yeah.
It plays with perspective, reality, the reader's own judgment. It's psychologically complex.
So thinking about its legacy, what does Cervantes' critique of fiction of stories tell us today?
Well, he was incredibly ahead of his time, showing how the narratives we consume, whether it's chivalric romances then or, maybe news and social media now, fundamentally shape how we perceive everything. How we see the world.
Yes. And despite everything Don Quixote goes through, all the mockery and pain, he holds on to his core self, his ideals, until the very, very end. He actually regains his sanity on his deathbed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he dies as Alonso Quijano again, peacefully. But his journey as Don Quixote, it shows the power, maybe even the tragic nobility of conviction, of living by your truth, even if the world doesn't get it.
A powerful spirit, even if based on illusion.
Exactly, an unwavering spirit.
Which leads us to a final thought for you listening right now. Consider this. How do the stories and the information you take in every single day?
Books, news, online feeds, everything.
How does all that shape your perception of the world? What narratives are you living inside? And maybe, What giants are you tilting at that might just be windmills after all?